Something in you has been whispering for a long time, quietly, persistently, asking a question you never quite finish answering. It slips in between breaths, between thoughts. Who am I really? Before we name it, before we analyze it, I invite you to breathe. Let your body settle. Feel the stillness that awaits underneath the noise. Then ask again, not as a thinker, but as a listener, listening to yourself. Not your history, not your roles, not even your hopes. When everything you've built yourself out of falls silent, what remains? You know the silence. Who am I? That question has unsettled and awakened people for thousands of years. It draws us out of the swirl of life and forward to something close, wordless, and enduring, our true nature. Zen masters once painted this inward search through 10 simple images, the 10 bulls that I'm going to talk about today. I first met them some 60 years ago, and they've walked beside me ever since. Markers of how the search unfolds and runs what might come next. Here are the bulls. At first glance, these bulls or oxen might seem like a quaint fable, a herdsman chasing, losing, finding, and taming this wandering animal. But underneath, something else moves. Each image a mirror of our own restless spirit and our searching for what was never truly lost. I remember when I first saw the drawings, I really didn't understand them, but I recognized myself in the chase, the dust, the confusion, the longing to catch what seemed just ahead. Decades later, I see new meanings in these same images. The bulls haven't changed. I have. Each time I revisit the bulls, a new door opens. Sometimes it's the door of discipline, sometimes surrender, sometimes laughter. The journey is circular, not linear, always inviting, never finished. And maybe that's the point. The bulls don't give answers. They tease the mind towards stillness, the way a koan does, showing that what we seek has been gazing quietly in the field of our own being all along. These 10 drawings tell of a seeker and a bull, where the bull represents our true nature and the seeker is you. This is not a journey of finding something new, but of discovering what has always been here. Today we'll walk through all 10 steps with a special attention on the first 3, because that's where I think most of us are. And yet, seeing the whole arc is useful because it shows us that our restlessness, our glimpses of truth, and our investigations all have meaning. So here we'll start. Step 1 is searching for the bull. The traditional text. In the pastures of this world, I endlessly push aside the tall grasses in search for the bull. Following unnamed rivers, lost upon the interpenetrating paths of distant mountains, my strength failing and my vitality exhausted, I cannot find the bull. I only hear the locusts churring through the forest all night. The first picture shows a lone seeker wandering in a tangled forest, eyes searching, heart restless. He is searching for something that he lacks. He doesn't really know what it is. Perhaps you have felt this, a sense that something essential is missing. You don't really know what it is, but it's missing. This feeling might arise in big transitions, retirements, loss of a spouse, a move to another country, some hardship or loss, or simply during a quiet afternoon when life feels flat. Zen honors this searching as sacred. That whisper from within, that subtle dissatisfaction is not failure, it's the beginning of awakening. For most people, this search takes the form of doing something, like practicing meditation or reading spiritual books, doing yoga, joining communities like ours, or even traveling halfway around the world to see a master for clarity. And while some paths may seem like detours, Zen says even our confusion carries the scent of truth. We seek because deep down we sense there is more to who we are. I think that as you use, we are all looking for something deeper than we find in everyday life, looking for the bull. So I think this room is full of bull seekers. This stage aligns with the UU fourth principle, search for truth and meaning. Step 2, seeing the footprints. The traditional text. Along the riverbank, under the trees, I discover footprints. Even under the fragrant grass, I see his prints. Deep in remote mountains they're found. These traces no more can be hidden than one's nose looking heavenward. The second picture shows footprints, the first evidence of the bull. The first meditation experience happens here. The first moment of actual silence also happens here. For the first time, a thought appears and you wonder, where does that come from? These are moments of insight when we sense that somehow we are more than what we thought, more than our stories and our roles. Maybe it's the quiet joy on a morning walk, a deep stillness during meditation, or the inexplicable peace of looking into the eyes of your beloved. In Advaita Vedanta, these glimpses are said to point to your inner divinity. The footprints reassure us we are on the right track, and the truth we seek is not far away. We might notice that these footprints are all around us, everywhere, not far away. This stage can feel both thrilling and fragile. We may think, I felt such peace yesterday. Why do I feel restlessness today? The footprints come and go, but they awaken our faith in the journey. This stage aligns with the UU third principle, encouragement for spiritual growth. Step 3, perceiving the bull. The traditional text. I hear the song of the nightingale. The sun is warm. The wind is mild. Willows are green along the shore. Here, no bull can hide. What artist can draw that massive head, those majestic horns? The third picture reveals the bull itself, a direct glimpse of our true nature. There is this sense of, I had it, where did it go? These glimpses might arise as deep love, an overwhelming sense of unity, or a stillness beyond words. It is the initial awakening to your real nature. Zen warns us, however, that while this awakening ends the initial seeking, more is possible. Finally, liberation will end the seeker himself. Seeing the bull is an opening, not a finish line. It gives us direction. We learn how to live what we have glimpsed and gain self-knowledge. These first 3 steps are especially important for many of us. They describe where we are in our own spiritual journey. They remind us that our longing for meaning is valid. Our glimpses are real. And awakening is not about becoming something different, but remembering who we really are. This aligns with the UU first principle, the inherent worth and dignity, because recognition of our true nature aligns with UU's affirmation of self. Step 4, catching the bull, the traditional text. I seize him with a terrific struggle. His great will and power are inexhaustible. He charges to the high plateau far above the cloud, or in an impenetrable ravine he stands. After a glimpse, many try to hold on, but grasping becomes its own trap. Old habits, fears, and identities return. We may think, I was peaceful last week. What happened? This stage teaches surrender. Let the insight shape us naturally without clinging. I have seen the bull, but he is unruly and wild. The training stage begins here, and this is where most people quit. We face the habits we have built up and accumulated over our entire life. What we want, what we fear, our instinctive reaction, the identities and roles that we have assumed as ours. The fight with the ego starts here. This isn't easy. This isn't quick. Now, step 5, taming the bull. The traditional text. The whip and rope are necessary, else he might stray off down some dusty road. Being well trained, he naturally becomes gentle. Then, unfettered, he obeys his master. Practice deepens. Meditation, self-inquiry, and honest self-investigation, where we repeatedly ask questions looking within ourselves, like, who am I? Then we learn we can dismiss everything objective outside of ourselves, since the source of our problems and our freedom comes from not living the things of our life, but from within. This stage can seem endless, so persevere. There will come a time when it is natural. We can rest in awareness more easily. Old mental habits slow, just as an unplugged fan takes time to stop spinning. Here, both discipline and compassion for yourself is essential. Some people take this experience as enlightenment and stop here. Now, step 6, riding the bull home. This is one of my favorites. The traditional text, mounting the bull, slowly I return homeward. The voice of my flute intones through the evening, measuring with handbeats the pulsating harmony. I direct the endless rhythm. Whoever hears this melody will join me. Integration unfolds awakening. It's no longer just an experience we had, but something we live every day. Practice becomes natural. We drop dependencies on teachers and systems and begin to enjoy freedom in ordinary acts, preparing breakfast, listening deeply to a friend, watching the sunset over Lake Chapala. Life feels more whole, more natural. This is a place of natural joy. This is so good that some people stop at this stage. This aligns with the UU second principle, since the struggle with ego reflects the ethical challenges in human relations. Step 7, the bull transcended. The traditional text. Astride the bull, I reach home. I'm serene. The bull too can rest. The dawn has come in blissful repose. Within my thatched dwelling, I have abandoned the whip and rope. The division between seeker and the sought dissolves here. There is no bull, no rope, no seeker, only pure self, unshaken and free. Even in loss or illness, this awareness remains untouched. It's a profound rest. This is the death of everything you thought you are. You thought you were a mind inside a body doing what you thought you need to do to get along. But none of that is true. You are the awareness that knows it all, not the body, not the mind, not the person I thought I was. Dogen said, to study the self is to forget the self. This is peace. Your practice is to stay with that peace. Now, step 8, both bull and ego transcended, and see the empty circle of Zen. The traditional text, whip, rope, person and bull, all merge in no thing. The heaven is so vast that no message can stain it. How may a snowflake exist in a raging fire? Here are the footprints of the patriarchs. Even the concept of enlightenment itself falls away here. There is no longer a project called spirituality to complete. There is only pure being, spacious, silent, beyond concepts. It is life as it is, unburdened. You stay effortlessly in this place. What happened to the ox? Separation has ended. I am the bull. The bull is me. The illusion of separateness collapses completely. Enlightenment happens, but there is no longer anyone to be enlightened. How confusing. Seeking ends here. Some people stop here and become detached and cold. This is where the story ended until the last 2 verses were added about 1,000 years ago by the Zenist. So step 9, returning to the source. The traditional text. Too many steps have been taken returning to the root and the source. Better to have been blind and dead from the beginning. Dwelling in one's true abode, unconcerned with that without. The river flows tranquilly on, and the flowers are red. The emptiness of step 8 is transformed into the fullness of life itself. The void is the world expressing itself. The journey comes full circle. We return to ordinary life, making coffee, paying the bills, but everything feels different. As T.S. Eliot said, we shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. Now, step 10, entering the marketplace with open hands. The traditional text, barefooted and naked of breast, I mingle with the people of the world. My clothes are ragged and dust-laden, and I am ever blissful. I use no magic to extend my life. Now before me, the dead trees become alive. Finally, wisdom flows naturally into life. There is no need to withdraw from the world. We live without clinging or fear, meeting others with compassion and generosity. The return to the world that the Zen folks put here matters, because awakening without compassion is not complete. Enlightenment doesn't take us away from life, it returns us fully to it, open-hearted and free. He is laughing because he sees the cosmic joke. The whole journey leads back to where you started. This stage is in the world, fully engaged, helping where you can. This is a grand journey, but why does it matter for us? For us, in later life, this journey mirrors our own. We have searched, we glimpsed truth, we wrestled with old habits, and eventually we integrate what we have discovered. Aging itself is a spiritual teacher. It asks us to release old identities, to face loss, and to trust the universe. Awakening is not about escaping life, but meeting it fully. Whether comforting a friend, walking by the lake, or simply enjoying our morning coffee, we begin to live with presence and ease. Joy arises in the small, ordinary moments, a breeze in the face, a child's laughter. Before awakening, we chop wood and carry water. After awakening, we still chop wood and carry water, but with a deep sense of freedom and an unceasing gratitude for existence. Now here's a simple practice that you can do in your life. Every day, pause and ask softly, who am I? What identities have I assumed that are not true? Don't rush to answer. If no answer comes, just sit with it. Instead, notice your thoughts and notice what is aware of your thoughts and feelings. Notice the awareness that is always there. This awareness is closer to your true self than any story you can tell. This awareness does not change, even as the events in your life do. So here's a closing reflection. Friends, you have never been apart from truth. Every step, searching, seeing, taming, integrating, is simply coming home to what has always been present within you. May we honor our seeking and cherish our glimpses and rest more deeply in the simple joy of being. Namaste. The divine in me salutes the divine in you.